Hey guys, welcome back, and today we are discussing MotoGP and specifically why you, my fellow Americans, should be paying more attention to MotoGP. Now, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Formula One. It's a series everyone knows, everyone's very familiar with, and a lot of people love. But MotoGP, yeah, it's providing a better on track product, and it's arguably more entertaining to watch. So, with that being said, no, this is not a MotoGP bike, but with the way Honda's been performing this year in MotoGP, this might as well be a race replica. Now, enough talking, and let's get the show on the road. So yeah, guys, like I said in the intro, these days Formula One is a pretty popular sport, and there's a number of reasons for that. I've started watching Formula One a long time ago. Well, relatively speaking, I started watching during the Michael Schumacher, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso era, where those guys were just duking it out and putting on great races for the audience. But that was a relatively obscure era, and I say obscure, I'm talking from an American perspective. Back in that era, I don't know, that's like what, 2004, 2005, so on, so on. Formula One was not really popular in the United States. It was really hard to find. It was on the Speed Channel, which doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, no one really knew what Formula One was. If you went and you talked to your friends or a random stranger about Formula One, they're probably thinking you're talking about baby formula or something. But these days, Formula One is in a very different position. And a lot of that is thanks to Liberty Media's acquisition of Formula One back in 2017. So Liberty Media is an American-based company, and they purchased F1 and have done a great job in growing the sport so far. They've made a number of decisions that have contributed to the growth of Formula One, but two stand out in particular. The first is an increased marketing push, and the second is increased races, specifically in the US, growing the audience. And why is this relevant? Because just this year, Liberty Media announced they plan on purchasing MotoGP. Surprise, surprise. Now, you remember those two reasons on how Liberty Media grew F1's popularity? I think Liberty Media is going to follow a similar playbook with MotoGP. Marketing push and additional races. But who knows how long that could take? That could take a year, that could take 2 years, who knows? We're here to talk about why you should start watching MotoGP right now. Reason number one, these guys are freaking gladiators. The racing is so dangerous, it's so physical. These guys are doing incredible things on these two-wheel machines that will just blow your mind. In fact, a couple of F1 drivers have even remarked on just how insane MotoGP is. Max Verstappen thinks the MotoGP riders are crazy because of the speeds that they carry on the straight and just the potential danger. He's indicated that he would like to try a MotoGP bike, but of course Red Bull has banned them because MotoGP is too dangerous. Another F1 driver, Lewis Hamilton, said MotoGP is more hardcore than Formula One. It's extremely dangerous, extremely physical, and yeah, I think Lewis mentioned like there's nothing really restraining, like there's no seatbelts, and he's right. Like it's insane when you think about it. And when MotoGP riders crash, well, they fall off the bike. There's no way to sugarcoat it, and it's true. Like these guys. Literally, there's no racing in the world. I'm just talking about motorcycle racing in general because this applies not just to MotoGP, but World Superbike, Supercross, anything you can think of. Even the baggers race. These guys are racing shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee. It's just insane. I mean, it's literally the most physical type of racing you can do. And there are no safety restraint systems on these bikes, unlike in Formula One. And for those reasons, that's why, in my opinion, these guys are just modern day gladiators. It's incredible what they can do. The second reason why you should start watching MotoGP now is the racing on the track is just more exciting and it's closer. Like, it's legit closer. I can tell you, and again, I'm an F1 fan. I'm not here to poo-poo on F1, but I can't tell you how many times I'm watching F1 race and I just like fall asleep in the middle of it. That never really happens with MotoGP. And this is not just reflected by what you see on TV, but on paper as well. I did a little bit of math for you guys, and I crunched some numbers. So I looked at two different data points. Number one, the average margin of victory in each race for the past 3 seasons of both Formula One and MotoGP. And the second data point is the, how do I describe this? I guess the differential percentage in the final championship standings between the championship winner and the runner-up. So after crunching the numbers, the average margin of victory in Formula One for the past 3 seasons is 11.111 seconds. MotoGP, in contrast, is 2.113 seconds. That is a significant difference. A significant difference. MotoGP, at least since I've been watching, I'm fairly new, the racing is just closer, it's more exciting. In F1, there's just far too many races where after the first 2 turns, you already know who's going to win the race. And that brings us to the second data point, and this is reflected over the course of a season, not on a race-by-race basis. The average point differential in Formula One for the past 3 seasons between the championship winner and the runner-up is 28%. There's a 28% gap on average, season after season, of a points difference between first place and second place. In MotoGP, it's only 8%. And, you know, oftentimes over a number of seasons, really the MotoGP championship is not decided until the last few races. And another reason why you should be watching MotoGP and pay more attention to MotoGP, this is just personal preference, but the races are shorter in duration. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Especially as I get older, I appreciate my free time a little bit more and realize how rare it is. And the last thing I want to do is just being stuck in front of the TV for a number of hours when there's other things I can be doing. That's just me. And again, this is just personal preference. On average, a Formula One Grand Prix lasts anywhere from 1.5 to 2 hours. MotoGP, on the other hand, is split into essentially 2 races over the weekend. There's the sprint on Saturday, which is shorter, and then there is the main Grand Prix on Sunday, which is a little bit longer. Now, how long are these 2 races? Well, the sprint on Saturday is only about 20 minutes. So it is pretty digestible, which I appreciate. I mean, that's the time it takes for you to, I don't know, have your coffee, eat your breakfast, brush your teeth, and then boom, that's it. It's super easy, super quick, and you have the rest of your day to do whatever you want. And the Grand Prix on Sunday is just a little bit longer for MotoGP. On average is anywhere from like 40 to 45 minutes. So not only is the racing better and closer, and in my opinion more entertaining, but the races are shorter. So it's a win-win-win. I mean, well, win-win. There's 2 wins, somehow I added a 3rd one, but you get the point. And just to talk very briefly about this season, the 2024 MotoGP Championship. Surprise, it's very close. It's very close between 2 drivers, Pecco Bagnaia. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, so from now on I'm just going to call him Pecco, and Jorge Martin. Today was the Grand Prix of Japan, and Pecco took the victory over Jorge Martin and closed the gap. Jorge Martin is currently leading the championship, but with today's victory, he's closed the gap just to 10 points. So right now, Jorge Martin, I believe, is sitting at 392 points, and Pecco is sitting at 382. Now, there's only 4 races left on the calendar. 3 are in Asia, 1 is in Europe. The remaining races are Thailand, Australia, Malaysia, and Valencia, I believe. Now, the Asian races, for us American viewers, it's a little bit hard to watch, in all honesty, just because they're just at terrible times. So you have 2 ways to watch the Asian rounds. If you're a night owl, you can watch the race live. You can watch it live on either True TV or Max. If you're like me and you tap out at midnight, you can just watch the replay of the race the next day, and you can watch it on Max. And there you have it, guys. That's why you should be paying more attention to MotoGP. And like I said, it's not a huge time commitment. A sprint's 20 minutes, a race is 40 or 45 minutes. Life is all about trying new things and, you know, seeing if you like it or not. So, try something new, watch a MotoGP race, let me know what you think, and until the next time, peace.